Tonight, learn how you can get involved with Relay for Life.
Plus, the SGA discusses a new recreation facility. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello, welcome to TrojanVision Nightly News for January 15, 2014. I'm Jamarlo Phillips.
And I'm Courtney Addison. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University Student Government Association kicked off their spring semester last night, and one of the big topics was a new recreation center for Troy students. Caitlin Crow has the details.
Constitutions were passed, organizations introduced, and individual committees met to discuss each issue brought to the Student Government Association in the first meeting of the spring semester on Tuesday night.
With this being the first meeting of the spring semester, the SGA discussed numerous events that will be happening throughout the rest of the school year.
But one of the biggest issues discussed was brought to light by President Farrell in regards to a new recreation center for students.
We as the SGA wanted to ensure with this project that we didn't charge more than the average price of a book. No student would pay over $125 a semester in order to build a student recreation center to either add on or to replace Sartain Hall.
If all goes as planned, Farrell expects only freshmen and sophomores to pay the fee beginning in August of 2014. Many senators support Farrell and believe the rec center would be a good addition to the university.
It gives students, since they're paying, it gives them the say in what goes in and how quickly it gets done. And I think that it's good that we're working with the Board of Trustees and all these other committees that would actually be able to get it built, but we're the ones who have the say in actually what happens and what gets built.
Farrell claims this is exactly the kind of service he promised the student body he would give when running for president.
So when I ran for SGA president, I wanted to provide services for students as we are the customer at Troy University.
Also briefly mentioned at the conclusion of this meeting was the announcement of a vacancy election for the 10 open Senate spots on January 29th. Caitlin Crow, Troy TrojanVision News.
The SGA meets every Tuesday at 6:30 in Trojan Center Room 119.
And even though the Troy University Relay for Life is still a few months away, the committee has already started planning and fundraising for this year's event. Amanda Ford has the story.
Tuesday night, the Troy University Relay for Life officially kicked off the new year and is focusing on getting the entire campus involved in this year's event.
Well, of course, we're hoping for fraternities and sororities, so those are our big people, but also we want everyone to. We want friends to come and just say, hey, we want to do a team because we have a grandfather or grandmother or father or mom that has survived or has died of cancer. We want groups all over campus to come.
Even though the event only lasts for one night, the Relay for Life committee has been working since September to make plans for this year.
So far this year, we've come up with a theme. It's going to be Tune Out Cancer. So we're doing cartoons from like the 1990s, the cartoons we all grew up on. And then also, right now our goal has been set at 19,000, I think. So that is our goal. So we can reach that this year. That's very attainable for us. So I'm excited about that.
Relay for Life is a fun-filled night, but the main goal is to raise money for the American Cancer Society, and the committee has already began fundraising on campus.
We'll be selling relay koozies, t-shirts. We have some bracelets. And we are selling luminarias as usual.
Amanda Ford, Troy TrojanVision News.
This year's Relay for Life is scheduled for March 22nd. Well, Courtney, historically Long Hall has been a building that has housed many of Troy University bands, but with the new Long Hall, that has changed.
Yeah, and Jamala, that's exactly right. And the new Long Hall actually houses other performance groups, including the Troy Dance Theater, who are happy to have the new and bigger space. Felicia Payne has the details.
Troy dancers are now closer than ever to everyone else on campus. Moving into Long Hall has provided a new state-of-the-art location for the dance program to continue to grow and develop.
When you walk in this building, it's a huge selling point already. The beauty of it is so elevating the moment you walk in, and it's impressive.
And as has been the consensus within the other departments about this building, size does matter, and the bigger the better.
Our dance space is incredible. The floor is probably one of the most significant features outside of the 4,000 square foot facility itself.
The best part would probably be the size. It is huge compared to our old studio. The studio is so big, and now we have 2 studios that we can also work from, so it's you're able to have more classes.
The dance major at Troy is still very new, and faculty and students are optimistic that this dance studio will help the program gain recognition.
With Troy University, we're always growing and adding more dancers to our program and our BFA, or just with minor.
The program is new and it is up and coming. It is just increasing and inclining.
The influence of this space is just terrific. It's going to be a huge selling point, but the beauty of it is going to elevate.
Hicks also says that she hopes to be able to use the spaces to encourage non-dance students to participate in dance classes.
We want to, now that we have 2 spaces available, we'd like to offer just workshops, just free workshops. And now that we have this space, we can have 12 or we can have 50.
Felicia Payne, Troy, TrojanVision News.
An official dedication for the new Long Hall is expected to take place later this semester.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. In Phoenix City, an Alabama father faces a murder charge after the death of his 1-month-old son. A Phoenix City police spokesman says the child was pronounced dead at a hospital in Columbus, Georgia on January 7th. 30-year-old Eric Colby Burgess was arrested January 8th.
And out in Montgomery, House Republicans promise a fast start for a package of proposed changes to Alabama's tax code. GOP leaders plan to start moving the bill out of committees that are meeting today. Among the idea is creating an independent body to oversee taxpayer disputes.
And in Montgomery, public school officials have named Margaret Allen the new superintendent of the district. Allen has been serving as an interim superintendent since former superintendent Barbara Thompson resigned in October.
And still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the Trojan basketball teams will be back in action on the home court tomorrow night, and Danielle Percival will be in with those details about the matchups when she joins us with sports. Now Danielle Percival joins us with sports. So Danielle, the men's basketball team had their first road victory this past weekend, and hopefully they can really keep up the momentum.
Well, that's right, Courtney, and hopefully they'll have lots of Trojan fans to support them as they go for that quest, because both men and women have a home game tomorrow night. So let's get into a look at the matchups.
Sounds good.
The Trojan men's basketball team is riding a 2-game winning streak and has momentum on its side. The Trojans were able to pick up their first road wins of the season over this past weekend and even their conference record at 2-2. The Trojans were dominant from behind the arc, hitting 48% of their three-pointers in their last 2 contests. After struggling with rebounds early in the season, Troy has been out-rebounding its opponents by nearly 10 boards per game in conference play, which is the best average in the Sun Belt. The Trojans are in the middle of the pack in the conference right now, but head coach Phil Cunningham believes these last 2 games could help propel the team to more success.
By winning 2 road games, we threw ourselves right in the middle of the race. It's very early, and the thing that we've got to keep preaching to our team is one day at a time, one practice at a time, one drill at a time. And when you play in a league and you play 18 league games as we do, you can't get too high or too low. If you lose a game, you can't get down in the dumps and hang your head and get too low. And if you win a game, you can't get full of yourself and thinking you're better than you are. And that's the key for us right now.
The Trojans will be back in action tomorrow night in Trojan Arena when Louisiana Monroe comes to town as part of a doubleheader with the women's team. The women's team is riding a streak of their own, but for Coach Shanda Rigby's crew, they've lost their last 7. Now, 6 of those losses have come on the road, though, and the team will be back in the friendly confines of Trojan Arena on Thursday night. The women are now 4-11 this season and have yet to win their first conference game. Despite the losing streak, the Trojans still lead the conference in scoring, averaging nearly 80 points per game. The leader on the team is Joanna Harden, who is averaging 24 points per game. But to break the streak and pick up a victory, Rigby knows it will take a complete team effort.
We're doing everything we can to build a sense of urgency with them. I don't know why, I don't understand, but it just feels like there's just a slow start. There's not urgency, and we say it over and over in the locker room before we run out. but it just doesn't show it on the floor. So we're trying to show film of that, to be specific, show film of the first 2 to 4 minutes of the game, and keep doing drills at practice that create a sense of urgency.
The women will take the court Thursday evening with tip-off against Louisiana Monroe set for 5:15. The men's game is set to follow 30 minutes after the completion of the first game. The Troy women's indoor track and field team will be competing tomorrow at Samford University in the standalone multi-competition. The women will be competing in the pentathlon, and the schools in attendance include Samford and South Alabama, as well as some SEC competition. With a young group, the coaching staff is looking for the athletes to gain experience, and being able to visit this venue could prove beneficial down the line. The events will be held at the Birmingham Crossplex, which is also the site of the Sun Belt Conference Indoor Championship meet later in the season. So DeMarlo, Courtney, great opportunity for Trojan fans to get out there and support the team. Maybe the first time that fans have had the chance to get out after the new year. I know a lot of people were traveling over the break, and students, of course, now being back on campus. Hopefully there'll be a great turnout to be able to support the Trojans and maybe see them pick up a couple wins.
Exactly. Students need to go and put that in their planners and make plans to be there, because like you said earlier, it does make a lot of difference whenever Trojan fans are there to support them.
Absolutely. Of course, first game is at 5:15 tomorrow night.
Okay. Thanks so much, Danielle.
Thank you.